This show is sponsored by ODYS Global. Make sure that you do sign up and get a free $100 bonus by checking out ODYS Global's Age Domains or Done For You affiliate websites.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 28 of SEO Tells. My name's Itamar Blauer. I'm joined by Craig Campbell, and in this episode we're going to talk about GMBs, and more specifically we're going to look through, my experience with trying to optimize a GMB profile, talking about some of the things that I've implemented, and then just seeing where I guess I can carry on improving based on what Craig thinks, because obviously he's very experienced with GMBs and how to optimize GMBs and get them to rank. So, Craig, should I just start off by sharing my screen and going right into it?
Yep, let's go for it.
Okie doke. So this is the GMB. This is me logged into my GMB. So, looking at recent performance, it's not been that great. I think right off the bat, in terms of the business name, and this SEO consultant here, that's something I've tinkered with in the past. And when I did that a few months ago, it did help improve my reach, my activity on the profile. Then I removed it and I saw that, I was getting less. So I've added it back up again, I think a couple of days ago, just to see. But Craig, anything about the name that you'd say right off the bat, or should I just carry on looking through?
I think the name, Itamar Blauer, SEO consultant, I would always have that. For local stuff, people are going to be looking for SEO consultant, and if you can have, a kind of partial match, what you don't want to do is have SEO consultant London there, because Google are going to look at that and say, here's another spammer. But I think the way you're doing it by using your name and giving a job title as such, SEO consultant, is the smart way of doing it. So that's exactly what I would do. Do not tinker it. Do not play with it again. Just leave it as it is. As you've seen, you will have a slight dip if you move around with it. You just need to be sure that SEO consultant's the right choice of words for the type of people that you want to try and bring into your GMB, which I think it will be anyway. So, and you can obviously see the kind of green parts there, the percentage of search views and maps views have went up considerably. So I think, that's a good move off the bat. So that's what I would be inclined to do there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'll probably keep it at that. Let's just look into maybe the info, see things that you might change in the info, because obviously I am service-based online. I don't add a physical location here, so I haven't got any kind of mailing and postal address or anything like that I've included in here. And the service areas I used to have it just as London, UK. Something that I changed was just adding some more into here as well to just try and show it up nicely when it's shown on maps. Because if we view or on search, even because when we view it on search, you've got the nice kind of United Kingdom highlighted here. But anything up until this point that you think might change?
I think the way you initially set it up by having London wasn't the best way. I think you've got to, if you deal with guys in Scotland, Ireland, or wherever else, add those as service areas, purely because, basically what you're using your GMB to do is join the dots. You're showing Google where you operate, what you do, and joining those dots. And obviously, if you do deal with Scottish guys or Welsh guys or, Irish guys or whatever it might be, then it's stupid not to put them on there. And I think that goes for the rest of your profile. Pad it out with as much as you possibly can. In terms of like what you've got below that, your opening times and stuff like that. Now, you might say, well, that doesn't really matter to me. But I think padding it out as best you possibly can, because I know you might argue that, Craig, I actually speak to clients at 8 o'clock at night or whatever. I think it's just given that, Google that you are a professional and stuff like that. So I think, what you've got that we can see there, in terms of padding it out with more information is great. But obviously, if you scroll down, we can check out the rest.
Yeah, so there's nothing for special hours. There's a phone number there. There's the short link. There's the kind of website URL which I've UTM'd for this listing here. So the appointment as well, I've done that to the contact page. The services is where I'd say it might get a bit interesting because I've got these two listed as the services. So do you think there could be more, maybe SEO services, video marketing services? What would you say?
Yeah, again, pad it out with as much as you can. So if you tell Google you're a SEO consultant and a video marketing consultant, and someone's maybe looking for YouTube consultancy, then you're gone. You're not shown. So add other services in where you can.
Mhm.
Add as many as you can and as many variations, in terms of things that people might search for. Because if you don't add them, it's like a guy coming to you and saying, Itamar, I don't rank for plumbers in Cambridge, for example, and you're saying, well, where does it say on your website that you actually do plumbing services in Cambridge? You're not telling Google that you actually do these services, and it's the same thing. It's just stupid not to. So add some other stuff in there.
Would you say to add the location as well? So I could add another one saying SEO consultant in London, or just the bottom line service?
Just the bottom line service. I would always keep it generic because obviously Google has got proximity and all of that kind of stuff built in. They're clever enough to figure all of that kind of stuff out. And yeah, obviously you've verified your address being in, in London, although you're not showing it, to the general public. You've got a verified address down there. So again, Google have been able to piece that stuff together. So just keep it bottom line, very generic.
Okay, cool. So I want to move on to posts because I think this is quite interesting. And a lot of people have mentioned that, regularly adding posts will do good for your GMB. Now, based on my testing, I've not found that to be the case. So I'll just demonstrate. And when I put the first post up, I think that's probably around the time where I had the keyword in here.
Yeah.
Right? So that would explain, lots more views and a couple of clicks. But then as we go on to the next one, and these were published maybe once a month because I publish blog content usually around once a month. But if you look at this, I mean, this is just atrociously less than the first one. So 10 views here, and then it halved to 5
for
the next one. So what's the thing with posts?
I mean, I don't actively do a hell of a lot of posts. Is it going to move the needle massively on your GMB? As far as I'm concerned, the answer is no. But what I would say is that in terms of, and this is just a rumor, again, not something I've actually tested, but people say, see, when you post something on your GMB, it gets indexed a hell of a lot quicker and stuff like that. So people might use it for indexing, but also bear in mind that Google may weigh this stuff more further down the line. And if you're just going to jump on it when Google weighs it more, that's a stupid thing to do. Now, is it going to harm you in any way by doing the odd post on there and sharing it? Absolutely not. Is Google going to penalize you for posting on their product or service? Absolutely not. So I don't believe it's highly weighted, in my opinion, right now. It may get your stuff indexed quicker, and that's what a lot of people are suggesting. But for me, I would try and add it as maybe once a month, twice a month, or whatever, as part of a longer term plan, because it would make sense for Google to reward something like that more than they would posting on something that's not theirs, if you like. So for me, and also when people land on your GMB, it just makes it look a bit more padded out. It's a bit more active. If you've got something on there that was posted in, say, 2017, and a potential new customer lands on that GMB and sees that you've not been active since 2017, they may go, this guy could be dead or anything, doesn't look that active, so see you later. So you've also got that, maybe potential click-through, or trust signal or whatever from a client. So I would try, although I don't believe it moves the needle as such, I would try and do it as a matter of course, just because.
So let's switch this a little bit and let's look at, for example, if I'm searching for SEO consultant, right? Just to see based on my proximity. So obviously I'm in London, and if we look at the maps here, okay, I show up here because probably that's the closest proximity to where I am, right? Yeah. But then if we take a look at other people in here, and I want to specifically look at reviews because I feel like this is something quite interesting. So with my listing here, I've got 9, I think that might be 10 now, it may be not updated, 10 reviews, 10 reviews. And then we go further down and look at the second position, which is here with no reviews, right? We just take a look at this listing, no questions, no answers. You know, it's got the address in London, sure. It's got the phone number, sure. It's got a little description, but just look at the name. Why, you know, is this literally always going to be the biggest factor in terms of the relevancy of the listing name?
Yes and no, because I think, you know, a lot of people are seeing that their GMBs are being penalised and pulled down and stuff like that. And for me, you know, over across the board of the ones that I've seen, it's this type that actually get taken down. Now, you may say to me, Craig, why the bloody hell is this one working then? Now, that could have been up for 10 years or whatever, and it just went under the radar. Now, it's a clear demonstration, though, that reviews don't matter a toss when it comes to ranking a GMB. Of course, if I'm looking at that, I probably would be inclined to click on yours or Lucas's because of the kind of or that other guy, Pedro. You know, I'd be more inclined to click on them because I think, you know, they just look fuller, better, you know, 5 stars sticks out and all that stuff. I think from a click-through rate point of view, the reviews really do help. But even if you were to put in something like Lawyer in London, tell me how many reviews the top guys have got if you do that. You know, and I do this at talks all the time. Now, if you look at the top guy, he's got no reviews. Or no, he has 52.
Yeah.
Well, it's just Lawyer London I normally do, but there's guys there that don't have any reviews, so you can argue that reviews, you know, clearly don't work. And I believe that this is just my own personal opinion, that reviews probably did have some weighting factor until everyone used and abused it. And for me, what really works well with any of this stuff, and where you're looking at that last guy that's in position 2 for SEO Consultant London, why is he sticking there? Because he's in position 2 and he's getting a hell of a lot of clicks and engagement, which is what, for me, works really well when it comes to a GMB. So we all do our site. So for me, the biggest things that work with a GMB, you've got your citations, your name, address, postcode, you know, all of that kind of garbage. You get your citations from wherever you want. Make sure that you get, you know, a bunch of them niche relevant, location relevant, and all that kind of stuff, and some generic stuff. But then everyone's at a level, and I think you might or might have not seen this. Itama, Holly Stark's running around with her 100 phones and all that kind of stuff. What was she doing there? She was testing a lot of GMB stuff, and that was looking at the things, clicking on the maps, asking for directions, you know, doing all of the other engagement things, you know, clicking on the photos, doing all of that stuff. And for me, now, this is not just me. I've actually got a friend, Ryan Durrani. Now, his dad is a driving instructor in Peterborough. And he said, Craig, I'm going to try this crap that you're talking about, you know, because you've seen me talking CTR stuff and many other videos. And Ryan's dad, after 3 days, phoned Ryan and said, whatever you're doing, stop it. He says, because my phone is ringing off the hook. He jumped into the top position, but the guy's a driving instructor, right? So he's sitting with, you know, guys, and he's trying to concentrate and all that stuff. And he normally gets 1 or 2 calls a day at best. He then was getting like 12 calls a day by just getting that engagement, and actually said to Ryan, bloody stop it, because I can't deal with 12 inquiries a day anyway. He was only looking for 2 or 3, but again, Holly's method worked. Click-through rate and engagement, and driving to and from the location and all that kind of garbage. There's lots of different things you can do in a GMB, and for me, that is what moves the needle on a GMB, not the reviews. Of course, you've got to have it padded out, and you've got to have your services as, marketing, SEO consultant, video marketing, whatever. Fill that out as much as you can. Obviously, have some nice photos on there, but you've also got to have those citations, the name, address, and postcode to be consistent, and then try and encourage that engagement. And how do you encourage that engagement? Just ask your friends, your family, your customers to play around on there. It's not a big ask. So for me, those CTR things are really helpful when it comes to your GMB, and that's something you should strive to improve upon.
Yeah, I think that sums up pretty much everything to do with, because that's the most important thing about GMB. There's a lot of things you can do, but it's more important to know about the things that will thread the needle in terms of pushing up the position. So, whilst reviews are great and they're better maybe for clicks and when people actually, dive deeper into your listing, but to get your listing up there in the first place, the reviews aren't going to cut it. So there are other things that you've mentioned that will definitely help you push yourself up. So I think that pretty much covers everything with that. And I'm quite happy with that. So thanks for at least reviewing kind of the things that I've done and seeing where I can improve. And obviously, if you're watching this video up to this point, this might be things that you can implement on your own listing if you found that, your GMB hasn't been performing as well. So try it out and let us know in the comments, or reach out to us and tell us how it's going, because, try it out now, fill it up, and, check back, reach out in like a few weeks' time or a month's time, and we'll be interested to see how, your progression in terms of GMB. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. So thank you guys for watching episode 28 of SEO Tells. I'm Itamar Blauer with Craig Campbell, and thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in next week's episode.